to identify their various issues of the classroom environment. Some sort of issues related to their methodology of teaching methods. Okay. Yeah, all any classroom, maybe the 8th class or 11th class or any other classrooms of professional college also, you can find out some different type of standard levels of the child or the student. One is below average students, and above average students. Okay, the methodology of the classroom that should be suited to all these categories of the students, all these types of students, like below average, above average, and average students. These type of environment is there in the classroom or not? Those things also we need to focus on while you are giving the educational counseling. And other important aspect of educational counseling is how the curriculum, is it enriched curriculum or traditional curriculum? That curriculum is activity-based curriculum or only one-sided curriculum, which includes only the educational aspect, no other activities related to the topics, or you can say curriculum. Extracurricular activities, co-curricular activities, and the management of the schools or administration of the school or college, whether they are focusing in other activities or not. These things also we need to focus when we are giving the counseling. So how the various personality structures of the individuals, or you can say students. So the personality traits, their interest, their abilities, their competencies, these are all the various aspects to be considered in the teaching process. Some students are the special needed children. For those special needed children, especially in the school environment, we need to provide special education. As we know, there are different types of systems of education. One is normal education, second is special education, third is the inclusive education, inclusive classroom structures. So to understand the psychological systems of the educational procedures or psychological levels of students, these are all the various aspects we need to check, we need to verify when we are giving the counseling to the educational counselors. And understanding of group process, how the group dynamics and the group process. Some students, some individuals may not be in a position to mingle with other children in the classroom or other members in the group. That is also one of the major issues for not showing interest on the activities, educational activities. If this is the case, how to improve the interpersonal relations within the classroom or within the institution? These are all the various issues, various points we need to check in the counseling procedure of education. Then some tips to give the educational that is counseling. One is choose the curriculum whether that is suitable to the student level of understanding. These things we have to check. Curricular activities. Second is understand the purpose of the education. So some students purposelessly don't have any aim, without purpose, just they'll go to the institutions and they'll spend some time on the institution, then they'll go back. So understand the purpose of education, that is to be explained to the students or any individuals. Develop vocational interests. Vocational interests. There are different type of diversified courses. Diversified courses means some courses are related to higher education, some courses to be related to the vocational purpose. After completion of their schooling, after completion of their +1, +2, what is the aim of the student? That aim of the student is to get higher education. That is one type of counseling we have to do. In some cases, due to their family situation, due to their economical, financial aspects, they will opt for further vocational courses. In these situations also, we have to give proper counseling to the children of schools as well as colleges. So efficient study habits. For example, if they want to go for higher educational courses like further studies, what are the various options for the higher education purpose, higher education institutions? Those things also we need to understand, and by our understanding only we need to give the proper advice to the students in the educational counseling. And based on the potentialities of the students, what are the options you are going to give? Those options we need to give and we need to advise based on the competencies of the students or potentialities of the students or individuals. So these are some sort of aims of education counseling, education guidance to the students as well as the individuals. Okay, if we find any curricular issues related to the students, so ask the students, advise the students, suggest the students to modify their plan of studies, or you can say study plans, or you can study habits also. So the emphasis should be implementing of their plans. Some students, some individuals, some students, especially in the college level or school level, they plan, but they won't implement the plan. The problem is with the execution. They will plan to study 6 hours per day. Immediately after entering in the new courses, immediately after entering in the new academic courses, they will plan that I'll study 6 hours per day. But in implementation part, they failed. So here, ask them to plan according to the availability of the time, according to the environment of their family, according to the school timings. There are all the various aspects they need to keep on mind. They need to keep in mind while they are planning for the study hours. In this case also, our counseling is needed. Okay. So initially, ask the students to plan according to those aspects like availability of the time, their environment, the school or college timings. Okay, whatever the other aspects. So these are all the various issues they need to check before planning for the study habits. Okay, then some principles and values about the practice of the counseling in the schools. Even as a school counselors, nowadays, so many schools, maybe the international schools or schools of central government, state board, these schools, they're all appointing school counselors nowadays.
Excuse me, sir. Please tell the topic.
Yeah. Topic, this is 15th unit. Vocational career and vocational guidance. Educational vocational career guidance. Counseling, 15th unit. So in the educational counseling, especially as a counselor in the school, a school counselor, counseling is concerned primarily and systematically with the personal development of the people. The main ultimate aim of the counseling in the schools is overall personal development of the child. Overall personal development means not only the educational aspects, other areas of his personality. The first aim should be overall personality of the child. That is number one. The approach and technique to be adopted depends on the individual's behavior, individual's capabilities, individual's attitudes, the child's attitude, his interest, his aptitude. Those things we need to check, we need to keep in mind while we are providing the counseling. Counseling is oriented towards cooperation between the people and the counselor. There should be sometimes maybe one-to-one counseling, or some cases group counseling. Group counseling means if the problem is common to group of students, so we better to give the group counseling. Or some cases related to the individualized aspects. In that case, we have to give the personal counseling or one-to-one counseling. Okay. Counseling in its essence is an educational process. It is to be more appropriate to the essence dimensions of the education. For example, if you are providing counseling to the 12th class student, means we need to keep in mind his age. 12th class means around the age of 16 years or 15 years. So that is the age of adolescent. As a counselor, as a psychological professional, immediately after knowing his age, you have to understand in this age, these are the various physiological, psychological, emotional characteristics of the child, of the individual. These are all the various developmental aspects of that particular age group of 15 or 16 in the 12th class student. We have to give the counseling. Okay. As I mentioned, counseling is always should be a the counseling always based on the theoretical aspect, subjective orientation, not from our own experience. Already I mentioned the previous class also. Immediate solution is not worked out in the psychological counseling. Tentative solutions are not worked out. If you want to give tentative solutions, you are not at all a psychological counselor. You are elderly counselors. You can't give the direct solutions, tentative solutions, temporary solutions in the psychological counseling. So counseling in schools should never be treated as an emergency reaction pattern. So emergency reaction pattern is not possible, as I mentioned. Immediate solutions are not possible. If you follow the procedures, if you follow the stages of the counseling, if we follow the subject-related counseling procedures, definitely you will give the solution. But it will take the time. It will take some time. Immediate solutions are not possible in any counseling, not only the educational counseling, any counseling. So in the educational counseling, these are all the various aspects we need to check, we need to keep in mind while you are giving some advice or suggestion to the counselors, to the students. The counselors also need to understand what are the various aims of education, objectives of education, goals of education. It depends on the social expectations, societal expectations, the state expectations. As a counselor, as educational counselor, we need to understand what are the main objectives of education in that particular area or society. The objectives and the aims of the education varies from time to time, varies from place to place, varies from culture to culture. These are all the various cultural backgrounds, traditional systems. What is the expectation of student? What is the expectation of the society from that particular educational procedures that we need to understand? Based on those expectations only, we have to do the education counseling, because these children are the future citizens of the society. While you are giving the education, because you have to be very cautious. We need to have proper awareness of that particular awareness, that particular society. In ancient days, education, the aims and objectives of the ancient education is different. The aims and objectives of the medieval period education is different. The aims and objectives of modern education system is different. These are all the various educational related aims and objectives, societal expectations, the child's competencies, and their various behavioral issues like their attitude, their aspirations, their aptitude, their interest, and their environment. These are all the various points we need to keep in mind while you are giving counseling to the educational issues. Any doubts? Next one, vocational career guidance. Vocational and career counseling. First one is educational counseling. Second is the vocational and career counseling. In the career planning, first of all, there are some tips of planning your career to right direction. Their career planning is in the right way or not. Want to check, there are some tips we need to check, we need to follow. Number one is learning never stops. Learning is a continuous process. Learning, as I mentioned, learning is a, what is the definition of learning? Any one of you? Learning is modification of behavior through training and experience. Here in this career also, learning should be a continuous process. Changing of behavior is called learning. Yeah, from
modification of behavior through
training and experience.
Training.
Through training and experience. That is the learning process. In learning, it's a continuous process. So here, even the planning of your career also, learning plays a vital role. You need to learn so many things before entering into the vocation or after entering into the career. So learning should be a continuous process. It should not stop. Learning never stops. If you want to upgrade your skills, some new skills you have to learn. Updated skills you need to learn. Okay, want to update your knowledge, so you need to learn. So learning to be continuous. That is the first point we need to improve. We need to follow. You want to be in a right direction of your career. Number one. Number two, always be a good listener. Okay, means when you learn something, you listen, then only it is possible to learn. Listening cautiously helps you to be a good listener. In doing this, you can gather knowledge about various fields of your career and plan of your action. When you are planning to your career, you need to know so many things. You need to understand so many things. To understand other things, new things, you have to listen. First of all, learning. The second thing is be a good listener. See, in any organization, there are some levels, hierarchy. Okay. So when you are in a position to listen your higher authorities, if you are in a position to listen your colleagues, if you listen to your subordinates, so by listening of various various aspects, you can upgrade your knowledge, you can upgrade your skills. In career this planning, in career development, listening and learning both are important. Third one is build your network. You have to build your network. Building up a good network is one of the primary requirements of the career planning. So many people nowadays, they don't have any network in their career. Okay, more than 50% of all jobs are obtained from the contact networks. So you need to have some sort of contacts in your field. Whatever the field you may be, whatever the job you may be, you have to maintain some network related to your job. So that is the building your network. Then fulfill your current job. There are some expectations in your place, in your job. Always you need to fulfill your functionings of your job. You can plan for the further job opportunities, but here, wherever you are, what are the job functionings? Those things you have to fulfill always. The requirements of your job, the requirements of your current job, always to be fulfilled. Then prepare yourself for better opportunity. You need to fulfill your present functionings, requirements, responsibilities. If you want to go further, you can prepare for the other better opportunities. Okay. So in this aspect, there are some tools of career opportunities. Those techniques, professional tools like build up your future career with the help of different professional tools apart from the academic degree. So there are some specific training opportunities also you need to get. So that upgrading of your knowledge, upgrading of your skills. So by doing this upgradation, you will have so many opportunities for the career development. Okay, these are all some important tips to be a right person in the right choice of your career. Okay, and some choices like occupational choices are depends on some stages. There are some stages of occupational choices. Here, first choice, that is developmental stages of occupational choice means one is growth. Here, the stage of growth, stage of exploratory, stage of establishment, stage of maintenance, stage of decline state. So in career, or you can see in occupational choice, there are some stages of our human development. This choice is also known as, this development is also known as occupational development stages or occasional stages of human life. So first stage is growth, birth to 14 years. In this birth to 14 years time, just you will develop the basic education. You will have basic education. So that is the reason this is known as the growth stage of vocation. In the vocational life stage, the first stage is that is growth stage between 0 to 14 years. Second is explanatory stage, 5 to 24 years. Sorry, 15 to 24 years. Explanatory stage, 15 to 24 years. You will be in a position to explain what are you going to do. So this is nothing but explanatory stage, 15 to 24 years. Third one is establishment stage. The explanatory stage means you will join in a job, so you will have some idea about your career. You will have some idea about your functionings. You will have some idea about the role of your job or your place. Third one is establishment. In establishment state, you will be in a position to establish yourself in the particular position. That may be managerial cases, administrative aspect, clerical work, what are the work maybe, what are the role of your job maybe. That is, you will be in a position to establish in the same position. That is from 24 to 44 years. Establishment, stage of establishment. Fourth one is maintenance. You will be in the same position, you will maintain the same functioning, same standards, same responsibilities. You will discharge the same responsibilities in this particular age or stage. That age or stage is called maintenance stage. First one is growth stage between 0 to 14 years. Second is 15 to 24 years, explanatory stage. Third one is the establishment stage, 24 to 44 years. Fourth one is the maintenance stage, 45 to 64 years. Final stage is decline state, 65 onwards, after 65 years. Slowly, what are the responsibilities, what are the functionings in the particular age, etc. Slowly will withdraw, means you will retire from that place. These stages are known as the occupational life stages or vocational life stages. Then some two theories are mentioned in your syllabus related to the vocation. One theory is the super theory. One theory is the super theory. The major concepts in the super theory were vocational, development task to achieve, implementation of the self-concept of developing a career, development of career maturity, and career patterns. These are the 5 important concepts of super theory. I repeat, there are 5 major concepts in the super theory. One is vocational. Second is development task to achieve successfully. Third one is implementation of the self-concept of developing a career identity. Fourth one is development of career maturity. Fifth one is the career patterns. So here in lifespan development of this theory of supers, in the supers lifespan development theory based on 4 assumptions. I repeat, 14 assumptions of super theory of vocational development. Number 1, people have their own abilities, personalities, needs, interests, and disinterests. That is the first assumption of super theory related to the vocation. Individuals are their own abilities, attitudes, aptitudes, interests, and personality traits. People are qualified by virtue of these characteristics. People are having some individual differences, means differences of their personality types, differences of their interests, but they are qualified by virtue of these characteristics, each for a number of occupations. Their qualifications are according to the super theory. Their qualification of the individuals are depending on their aspirations, interests, aptitudes, and attitudes. For example, some individuals, their qualifications are technical qualification, but means their interest is on the technical aspects. That is the reason they qualified in the technical professional degrees, like BTech and B.Tech. Some individuals are more interested on the administrative aspects. So according to Super's theory, the first assumption is individuals are having their own abilities, personality traits, interest, and various qualities, or you can say abilities. Second assumption is that people are qualified by virtue of these characteristics of the interests. Number three, each occupation requires a characteristic pattern of abilities and personality. Each occupation requires a specific characteristics of personalities and abilities. Yes. I repeat, first one is that each individual are having their own abilities, interests, and personality traits. Second one is that the individual's qualifications are based on these interests, personality traits, abilities. Third point is that, third assumption is that, according to the Super's theory, third assumption is that each job, each occupation requires a specified characteristics and pattern of abilities and personalities. Okay, for example, some individuals are very dynamic. So, based on their personality traits, some jobs are mentioned. So, the responsibilities of these jobs are the person should be dynamic. That is the third. Fourth one is that occasional preferences changes according to the situation in which people live and work. In some cases, may the people are interested in some areas, some abilities, but due to the changes of their lifestyle, changes of their family environment, changes of the sudden changes in their family, their preferences may be changes. That is the fourth assumption of the Super's theory. This process of changing may be some up in the characterized by a sequence of growth, exploration, establishment, realistic phase of action. Some sort of maybe in the initial stage, as I mentioned, the growth stage, they may plan for one type of job or a systematic or a one it is a according to their abilities. They may choose the qualification or career, but due to some changes in their environment, so they may not be in a position to reach that position. So they will adjust themselves because of the changes in their environment. Next one is the nature of the career pattern occupation level attained frequently and duration of. Some cases, what happens due to the various reasons, because of various reasons, they will change their professions for time to time, repeatedly, frequently. So they may not be in a position to stick on to one job or one career. So that is also one reason of not progressing in their place in their job role. Success in coping with the demands of the environment and of organization at any given career stage depends on the readiness. How the person, how the individual physically, psychologically ready. Readiness is also one important aspect according to the Super. Readiness means whether they are physically, psychologically, socially, emotionally ready to cope with the situation or changing situation, changing environment of one place to another place. And career maturity is a hypothetical construct. So maturity in the particular career maturity, it can be guided by assisting the maturity of abilities. So if your abilities are matured, your personality traits are matured. So based on the maturity of your personality, the career maturity is possible. Or your satisfaction level of job satisfaction is possible if you are matured personality. Development, though the life stages can be guided partly by interest and in the development of self-concepts. The process of career development is essentially that of developing occupational concepts. Role and the results of the role playing meet the approach. So whatever your role, whatever your functionings of the particular role, whether you are able to do that work or not, whether your job is in a successful way or not, it also depends on the career development. So these are all the various work and occupation provide a focus for personality. These are all the various assumptions or points. The theory of super's theory of vocation is given this type of assumptions. Okay. Another theory of vocation. Here the development based on the development of a person. Super's vocational theory is totally focused on the various developmental procedures of that particular individual. Here another theory, that theory is John Holland's theory. It is based on the personality types. Okay, we have some personality types or traits. According to the John Holland's theory, this theory is based on the personality types. The choice of vocation, according to the John Holland's theory, the choice of vocation is an expression of personality. Some jobs, some occasions, they choose, the individual choose to express their personality traits. For example, some individuals are socially, they are, we know that there are some personality types. One is introvert personality. Some are the extrovert personality. Okay, suppose introvert personality trait. Some individuals are introverts, that their personality type is introvert. That is the reason they choose some sort of jobs related to their personality traits or personality types. Introverts, for example, poets. Poets are introverts. Okay. Due to the personality type of that individual, he or she entered into the profession of poet. Okay. So interest inventories are personality inventories. We know we have some interest inventories. For example, CIS, comprehensive interest schedule, CIS. In this comprehensive interest schedule, it's one tool, it's one inventory of interest. Even some personality inventories also well. 16 PF is the personality inventory. Okay. So here in the personality inventories or interest schedules, we will identify the area of the individual's interest. Depends on the area of his interest, we advise them to choose the career. So John Holland's theory focusing on the personality types of individuals while choosing the career. So vocational stereotypes have reliable and important psychological and sociological meanings. Some types of careers are related to the psychological or sociological aims. The members of the vocation have similar in some cases. Actually, if they choose the job or vocation based on their personality types, so the members of the particular vocation have a similar personality. If really they choose the job based on the personality types. So if we can easily find the same personality, same type of personality in the same vocation. Then another one is because people in a vocational group have the same interest, because based on the interest, based on their personality traits, if they choose the career, we find the same type of personality traits, same type of people having same type of interest in the job, in the same vocation. So vocational satisfaction achievement depends on the congruence between the personality and environment. The same personality, same environment, so the satisfaction or the achievements of vocation is possible. These are some important assumptions of the John Holland's theory of vocation. So here there are two important things. One is Super's theory of vocation depends on the various developmental processes of the individual. Then John Holland's theory of vocation, which focuses mainly on the personality type. Some other assumption of the Holland's theory. In our culture, most persons can be categorized into 6 types, that is realistic type, intellectual type, social type, conventional type, enterprising, and artistic. These are all the 6 types of personalities according to John Holland. There are 6 kinds of environmental: realistic, intellectual, social, conventional, enterprising, and artistic. So 6 types of personalities. The same way, 6 types of environments. Because these individuals having this type of personalities, the environment also the same type of environment according to the Hollands. Then the assumption is that people search for environments and vocation to permit them to exercise their skills and abilities. They choose the workplace, they choose the career according to the Hollands, John Hollands. They choose the occasions, they choose the jobs related to their personality traits, interests, and attitudes, values, to avoid disagreeable ones. Why did they choose this type of jobs? Means based on the aptitudes, abilities, attitudes, personality traits, the people choose the job or occasion in order to avoid the disagreeable persons there. Conflicts, to avoid the conflicts in that job workplace. That is the another assumption of this Holland's theory. A person's behavior can be explained by the interaction of his personality and his environment. So the behavior of the person can be explained. The behavior, how he behaves, it is easily you can explain his behaviors by the interaction of the personality and the environment. If the personality and environment is there, if you observe the person's behavior, if you want to assess the behavior of any person, any individuals, how his interactions of his personality and a person's behavior can be explained by the interaction of his personality and his environment. How he interacted with others in the environment, how the individual is interacted with his environment, other members in the group, other members in the workplace. Depends on that, you can easily explain the behavior of any person according to the John Holland's theory of personalities. Any doubt? So here as a concept, as I mentioned, any topic, any text, any topic, we need to know, we need to understand how to give the counseling to these people, like education counseling, vocational or career. In your textbook, only theoretical aspects are given. I am adding some more information how to provide the psychological counseling to these individuals in educational counseling, vocational or career. For example, vocational educational counseling. If the child or if the student needs some sort of help from you as a psychological professional, what to do? You need to check his abilities, his aspirations, and his interests, attitudes. These things we need to check. So, what are the course fees offered? What are the educational system, educational environment? Those educational system, maybe the curriculum, the procedure of his education is suited to his attitude, interest. You need to check. We need to check, verify. Based on that, we have to provide our answer. That is related to the education counseling. Same way, even career and vocational education. Maybe he is in the job. His role is a particular role in his job. That role of his job is suited, is matched according to his personality traits. Those things also we need to keep in mind while you are providing counseling to the in your career counseling as well as the vocational counseling. Any doubts?
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, a small doubt, sir.
Mhm.
Sir, can you please explain about career maturity, sir?
Career maturity.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, for example, if we are entered in a job, in any job, career, okay?
Yes, sir.
Initially, there are some issues maybe arised while you entered into the job.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So, for example, adjustmental issues. In
Okay,
any
sir.
company, maybe the government sector or a private sector, or any other organization, there may be some issues related to the adjustment,
Okay, sir.
personal adjustment and workplace adjustment. Maybe the functioning support job may be having some sort of issues.
Okay, sir.
After entering into the job, you need to observe what are the major issues. Those are disturbing you in your functionings or your responsibility of the job. Okay.
Okay, sir.
If you adapt to the situation, if you adjust to the situation slowly, you will have some command or some grip over your functionings of or styles of your functionings.
Yes, sir.
Okay, here your emotions to be matured, your emotional stability is needed. Okay, you need to balance your emotions in order to adjust with the environment of your job or you can say workplace. Okay, so when you transfer from one place to another place, when you are place to place maybe changing, our role also maybe changes. Sometimes the role of the person, job role or workplace. So there also we need to adjust.
Okay, sir.
So if you are in a position to adjust with the situation, I can say environment, or if you adjust with the other group members of the particular job, you will have some sort of satisfaction, even though there may be some hurdles in your job, in your workplace.
Okay, sir.
If you have some satisfaction, slowly, what happens? What are the hurdles? Whatever the forces that disturbing you, slowly, they will understand. Alright, this type of hurdles, this type of disturbance are not worked out here in this case.
Okay, sir.
Slowly, what happens? You will have maturity in your job. That is the career maturity. Is it okay? Any further explanation is needed?
No, sir. No, sir. Clear, sir.
It is quite common in any place. No, it is quite common when
Yes,
you
sir. Yes, sir.
enter into a new plan. Maybe you are in the managerial position, you may be in your subordinate position, you may be member of the staff in your school or college or any education institutions. These are quite common nowadays. Maybe some conflicts also may be arise. Okay.
So what's
Yes,
the
sir.
main topic we're taking for this, sir? Like I missed this part.
Pardon me?
What was the main topic we were discussing about the last lines you?
15th unit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. 15th
Okay,
unit.
sir.
Educational counseling, vocational career counseling. It's already completed. Next one is 16th unit. We are going to start the 16th unit now. That is the block 4, fourth block. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So in this counseling and the therapeutic procedures, or you can say approaches, therapeutical approaches. As I mentioned repeatedly, counseling should be based on some theoretical aspects. Direct counseling without our subject knowledge is not possible in the psychological counseling. You need to have some base when you are providing counseling. Okay. So counseling is having some theoretical base, theoretical foundations. And these theoretical foundations of counseling will give you some therapeutic approaches or therapeutic knowledge. As I mentioned, first of all, theoretical knowledge. Some theoretical knowledge, techniques, and approaches of the counseling approaches, you can say. Then counseling skills. Finally, counseling tips. These are the 3 or 4 force procedure. 3 or 4 stages of counseling. Direct counseling without proper theoretical knowledge is not possible. It is only a tentative solution. It won't give any permanent solution. Yeah. Now in this fourth block, 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th units, there are some approaches of counseling. Approaches of counseling. Okay. First one is psychoanalytical approach of counseling. Psychoanalytical approach of counseling. Second is behavioristic approach of counseling. Third is cognitive approach of counseling. Fourth one is humanistic approach of counseling. I repeat, in any counseling, theoretical knowledge is important. Each theory of psychology, or you can say psychological theories, to provide you some approaches of counseling. Based on the approaches of counseling, some therapies or techniques that finally counseling. So in 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th units, there are various approaches of counseling. 16th unit, 16th unit is the approach related to the psychoanalytical approach. The psychoanalytical approach is 16th unit. 17th unit is the behavioristic approach. So 18th is the cognitive approach, and finally humanistic approach. Yeah, today we'll discuss this psychoanalytic approach. In the psychoanalytic approach of counseling, the psychoanalytic, who is the father of psychoanalytical theory?
Sigmund Freud, sir.
Nice. Sigmund Freud is the father of psychoanalytical theory. Okay, psychoanalytical theory of Sigmund Freud that we will discuss today. Okay, in the psychoanalytical approach, there are some dynamics of mind. Dynamics of mind, or you can say dynamic approach. In psychoanalytical theory of Sigmund Freud, there are 4 important subtopics. One is dynamic approach, then topography of mind, and developmental stages, and structure approach. In this first thing, that is id, ego, and superego characteristics. Id, ego, and superego characteristics. So, in order to give proper counseling to the individual, we have to check in this person, in this individual, id characteristics are more, ego characteristics are more, and superego characteristics are. Which characteristics are dominated in this particular individual? What are the id characteristics? Id characteristics means it follows
Pleasure principle, sir.
Yeah.
Pleasure principle.
Pleasure seeking principle. Number 1. Second is animal trait. Animal pleasure seeking principle means it's nothing but animal trait. Animal characteristics. If I want something at any cost, I need it to fulfill my need. That means pleasure seeking principle. Okay. So here in this id characteristics, if id characteristics are more, id characteristics are dominated the person, what happens? He or she will act in a different way, immature way. So these things we need to observe. Number 1. Number 2 is the ego. What is ego? Ego characteristics means
Reality, sir. Reality.
principle of reality. Okay, principle of reality. It follows the principle of pleasure seeking. Ego characters means principle of reality. Okay.
What's the second one? So first is pleasure seeking, and the second one is
Animal trait. Animal trait.
okay.
In psychoanalytical approach, we need to analyze the person's characteristics, individual characteristics. When we are analyzing this individual's characteristics, we'll find which type of trait is dominated in this particular person. Whether it is id characteristics, ego characteristics, and superego. Superego means always. What is the superego characteristics?
Morality, sir.
Moral
Morality.
values. Always moral values, principles. Is it possible in a life, in a practical life?
Only sometimes possible, sir, depending upon the
Yeah,
situation.
yes. So these are the 3 important characteristics we have to check. We need to. And psychoanalysis means psycho means, what is psycho? Anyone? Psycho means
Soul, sir. Soul.
there's no word of psycho in the that is in psychological perspective. Psyche means mind. Mind. Okay, so psychoanalysis means we are analyzing the mental status or mind of the particular person. So when we analyze in the psychoanalysis approach, you can easily, as a psychological professional, identify his or her traits or mental status. That is number one. Number two is the topography of mind. Topography of mind. Topography of mind means there are three important levels. Okay, that is conscious level, subconscious or preconscious level, and unconscious level. Conscious level means you are aware of what you are. Okay, you know what are you doing now. You are aware of what you had done already 1 hour before, or 1 day before, or 2 days before, and you know what you are going to do after some time. You are aware of your own ideas. You are aware of your own things. That is the conscious state. Okay. Second is pre-conscious state. You can remember, you can recall whatever happened in the last 10 days back or 15 days ago. A little bit effort, by your effort, you can recall whatever happened in some days back, 15 days back. That means pre-conscious state or subconscious state. Unconscious state of mind is that some childhood experiences, some bitter experiences, those experiences are deposited in your last layer of your mind. It's not so easy to remember. It's not so easy to recall those experiences. Those are all deposited, will be there in your unconscious state. Then how to tap those issues in the unconscious state? In order to counsel the patient or the individual or the subject, if you give that sort of opportunity to express his emotions or her emotions, or childhood experiences, bitter experience, whatever things happened in the very long back, in the childhood stage or any other stages. Slowly, 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 it is possible to bring those hidden experiences, feelings, hidden emotions, those are there in the unconscious level of mind, is needed to bring to, is possible to bring to subconscious, slowly, slowly, the conscious level of our mind. This is nothing but topography of mind, unconscious, preconscious, and the conscious, or conscious, preconscious, and unconscious level states of our mind, according to the psychoanalytical theory. Here also, why you call it as psychoanalytic means the dynamics of ego, superego also we need to analyze in the psychoanalytical approach as a counseling psychologist. And we need to analyze the topography of the mind. What is there in the conscious, subconscious, unconscious, the persons. In that manner also, in that perspective also, we need to analyze of his mind. That is the known as psychoanalytical approach. Then third one is that the development stages approach. This developmental stage is also known as the psychosexual developmental stages. According to psychoanalytical theory of Sigmund Freud, sexual development is psychosexual developmental stages. There are some developmental milestones we are supposed to, or any individual supposed to achieve in that particular stage or age of his development. There are 5 stages of psychosexual developmental stages according to the Sigmund Freud psychoanalytical theory. Number 1, oral stage. Second is anal stage. Third is phallic stage. Fourth is latency period. Fifth is genital stage. In all these stages, there are some milestones or developmental characteristics the individual supposed to attain. If the individual is not achieved that developmental milestones in this particular stage, what happens? That impact of not achieving, that impact of not fulfilling those characteristics in this particular stage, slowly, that adverse impact will be in the later on stages, according to Sigmund Freud psychoanalytical theory. Like for example, in oral stage, the child stimulates the oral part by getting feed from the mother. Okay, according to this psychoanalytical theory, this is one important developmental milestone to be achieved. If it is not achieved, so this child having some problem of interacting, communicating with other members in the group in the later on stages, according to this thing. Same way, anus is the stimulus part. It gives some sort of stimulation to this small child in this anal stage. Through this anal stage development, through this developmental stage of anal stage, the child know how to hold and how to letting out. How to hold his impulses and how to letting out those things. That development, according to my psychoanalytic of Sigmund Freud, the developmental milestones to be achieved in this particular. In third stage, phallic stage. Phallic stage means there are 2 important complexes. One is Oedipus complex, second is the ultra complex. So that according to the Sigmund Freud, we try to understand this is the theory. The perspectives are not from our own. These theories from the Sigmund Freud psychoanalytic. He is analyzing the psychological conditions of the individuals in these various developmental stages. In this third stage of phallic, small girl of this age of 8 years or 9, that means this childhood stage, is having some attraction to the father, but it means the father is the hero of the family according to that particular small girl child. The same way, the boys focus is on his mother. Oedipus complex and Oedipus complex. In this, that is in this stage of Sigmund Freud's phallic stage, boys are more focused. Their focus on their mothers, on the girls in the small age group of childhood. Their focus is on the fathers. That is the developmental of this particular age according to the Sigmund Freud and Ricardo. Then fourth one, latency period. The even stages of each stage also given. Oral stages between 1 to 1.5 year. Okay, sorry, about to 1 year, 1 to 1.5 year. Second is the anal stages between 1 to 3 years. Fourth stage is the phallic stages between 3 to 5 years. And fifth stage is latency stages between 5 to 12 years. You can tell initial stage is infant, even second stage also infant, third stage is pre-childhood stage, and latency period is later childhood stage. So it's between latency period is between 5 to 12 years, that is later childhood stage. Children become more interested in other people and develop social and intellectual skills. School, friends, sports, and other leisure activities. So here in this childhood stage of later childhood stage between 5 to 12 years of latency stage. Okay, these children are more interested on the peer group. This is the age of peer group. They will involve in the activities related to the school or other curricular activities. They are more interested on the friendship, sports, and other curricular and co-curricular activities. That is one important development of improving social interactions according to this analytical theory, psychoanalytical theory. This is most important. As I mentioned, what are the developmental milestones in this each stage is needed? They need to achieve in this particular age. Otherwise, the negative impact, for example, this particular stage of latency stage, if they are not mingling with other children in the group and their peer age, what happens slowly, social interactions may not be achieved in the later stages. Social interactions are more important. As a social being, we are supposed to interact with other members in the group or in the society. So this is the base of social interactions. In this particular latency period, they know how to maintain the relations in the peer group. Slowly, what happens? In the later stages, their social interactions will be improved. They easily mingle with other members in the society. Okay. Then finally, genital stage. Genital stage means between between the age of 12 to 12 years to adult stage means 16 to 18 years of age. This is the genital stage. The focus of this stage is sex drive moves from the individual's own body as a source of satisfaction to seeking relations further involved in mutual gratification. The person now turned from earlier selfish up to sense of caring responsibility toward others. So this is an important stage of social development. So here they identify their various developments of their physiological aspects. They will identify in this particular stage of genital stage between 12 to 16 or 8 years. They reaches the adolescent stage. In this stage, they will focus on their various changes in the physiological system. That is their body shape, their structure, their genital issues. These are all things they focus. Mostly their thoughts, their focus is on these areas. Number one. Number two, they also try to interact with others, especially other genders. They want to attract the other gender. Boys attraction towards girls, girls attraction towards boys. This is also an important developmental milestone to be achieved in this particular age. These characteristics are needed. If these milestones are not achieved, not attained in this age, what happens? Slowly, it leads some sort of deviant behavior. These are the normal achievement. These are the normal milestone to be achieved. So here, if these milestones are not achieved, so it leads some sort of abnormal behavior. As I mentioned, the attraction of the boys towards girls is quite common achievement milestones in the developmental milestone in this age. If this is not happens, what to do? Better to show them, better to approach to any specialist or psychologist. Got it? So according to psychoanalytical theory of Sigmund Freud, these developmental milestones are quite common in various stages of the psychosexual developmental stages. Any doubts and clarifications? Okay. Now, so what is the counseling part here? So if the client approaches you in various issues related to this aspects, as I mentioned, we need to check and we need to analyze various psychological issues, or we need to analyze psychological conditions of the child or individual. These milestones are achieved in the right time or not. We need to analyze it so that we will have some idea about what are the reasons of his maladaptive behavior. For example, some children after 16 years, even after 18 years also, they won't mingle with other children or other members in the group. That means their social interactions are poor. This may be one of the reasons they approached you. Because of this issue, they came to you. Here, as the psychological profession, we need to check in these so-and-so developmental stages. Their characteristics are quite normal or any deviant behavior in those stages. By understanding of these particular aspects, after thorough understanding of the issues, he will be in a position to provide proper psychological counseling so that at least now they'll improve the social interactions. Actually, these social interactions, as I mentioned, in this public stage or in this latency stage and the genital stage, these developmental milestones to be achieved. If you find any problem of achieving those developmental milestones in those areas, in those stages, for example, some parents, they won't allow the children to interact with other children in the group. Their parenting style is like that, autocratic type of parenting styles. They won't allow the child to interact even within the family members. That is the root cause of their poor social interactions in the group. If you find these type of issues related to the family environment, that is our responsibility to provide the counseling not only to the child and to the parents also, to improve the social skills, social interactions within the family or outside the family or in the society also. So this is one example of how to identify the root cause of the issues and how to give psychological counseling to these cases. Means changing the family environment so that Their social interaction will be improved in the family or outside the family, within the neighboring area. Automatically, these children know how to behave, how to improve the social interactions within the group or in the society, even after 16 years also. If you find the problem is there at the age of 17 or 18, at least now, at least they need to improve in order to reduce their deviant behavior. If you are not giving proper counseling, so what happens slowly, they will detach from the society. First of all, they detach from the family. Instead of having emotional attachment in the family, they will detach from the family. Slowly, they'll detach from society. That is the reason these detachment of the family and the detachment of society leads some sort of social deviant behavior. Some of you in the previous class, they are talking about, they are some express some doubts about the why the children are runaway type of behavior. The runaway behavior is the root cause of runaway behavior is that only. In the previous this unit, some of you expressed some doubts of the runaway, how to provide the counseling to the runaway reaction. Runaway reaction, the root cause of the runaway reaction is that the parental style. We know some parental styles are democratic style of parenting, some are autocrat type of parenting. They won't allow the child to interact much with the parents. Actually,
Sir, small doubt, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can we change through counseling, sir, this autocratic parenting type of parenting?
Why not, madam? Why not?
Oh, okay, sir.
Any type of problem, any type of issues, definitely, certainly will change. But how you provide the counseling? Out of your own experience, if you give the counseling, it won't work out. Based on the theoretical aspects, based on the various principles of psychological theory, if you provide the counseling, if you do the counseling, definitely that changing the possibility of getting solutions. You'll get the solution. Is it okay?
Okay, okay, sir.
Means you need to give the counseling not only to the client, to the child, to the individual. We have to give the counseling to the parent also. Parental counseling also. As I mentioned, in some families, the parents are not having time to interact with the children. They are busy with their own activities. Some parents, especially some father, some head of the family, he won't give time to interact with the child. Always he will be busy with his own activities, and with the small issues also he will neglect the child. What happens slowly, these children, if we are not providing proper time, if you are not interacting with child, slowly, they'll express these emotions within the classroom environment. If the teachers are good, if the teachers are allowed the children to interact with these emotions, they want to share some type of them, because they don't have time, they don't have opportunity to express their issues, express their emotions to the parents. So what the other option? They will ask some doubts or they'll express their emotions to the teachers in the classroom session. The teachers also not having that much of time to solve their issues. Slowly, some type of these children, these are maybe some few children of this type, slowly, they form a group. Got it? That means, so they detach from the family environment, they detach from the parents, emotionally they detach from the parents. If they want to get some solution from the teachers, that is also not possible. Slowly, what happens? Slowly, this type of children form a group and they will run away from the family. That is known as the runaway reactions.
Sir, can we also change the thoughts of the child, sir, from runaway reaction?
Yes, yes. Of course,
Positive thoughts.
we have to change the thought process of the child. Maybe some solutions you have to give, but in order to find out the reason, how to get the reasons, how to know the reasons. At least, yeah, we have to involve the parents. No, at least teachers or parents, you need to involve in the process of the counseling.
Yes, sir.
So the child may not be in a position to express all his issues. As I mentioned, repeatedly I'm mentioning the same thing. You have to find out the reasons of the issue first of all.
Yeah, main thing is the reason we have to find out.
Yes, in order to find out the reason, how you counsel
Yeah.
the child without
That-
involving the parent, without involving the school authorities, is it possible to get the reason, to know the reasons of his behavior?
No.
Yes, sir. We should do detailed case study, I think, sir.
Yes, madam. Yes.
And interviews from.
Always be practical in the counseling procedures. That is the reason every topic, after completion of the topic, just for 5 to 10 minutes, I am allotting to the how to.
Pursue it in counseling.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Thank you. It's already 4:50. I think our time is up to 4:45. I think. Yes. Any doubts you can ask within some 3 to 4 minutes. Otherwise, we'll sum up. Rest of the part we will discuss later. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.